single one of us sisters can make game-changing disciples. Because we are world changers meant to make game-changing disciples. Good afternoon, sisters. My name is Sandra Smith, and I have the honor of being a servant in the mighty North region of the London International Christian Church. So the title of my lesson this afternoon is oh my gosh, I almost couldn't read the word. Triumphant in baptizing game-changing disciples. So we're going to break it down really quick. Triumphant means having won a battle or conquest, a victory. The word game-changing means having a big effect on a situation so that the way it developed changes completely. So sisters, this is actually who we are. We are world changers. And we are here to make game-changing disciples. This used to really intimidate me. Making a game-changing disciple. But that's a lie from Satan that we can't do it. Every single one of us sisters can make game-changing disciples. Because we are world changers meant to make game-changing disciples. When I first got to Poland, I felt like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be effective here? I don't look Polish. I don't speak Polish. I've never been to Poland, so I don't know anything about Poland. And I became an expert at saying, "Czy mówisz po angielsku?" which means, do you speak English? But this wasn't going to convert souls, and it definitely wasn't going to convert game-changing souls. But soon after moving to Poland, I got a membership at a hot yoga studio. I love doing hot yoga. It's my favorite workout. So I got a membership there, and I was reaching out to the women at the studio and asking if they would be open for a Bible discussion or a Bible study. And just for a little context, Poland is a very Catholic country, but then, of course, the younger population has really become anti-religious because of the damage from the Catholic Church. And so people aren't as open. So when they hear Bible, they don't respond well typically. So everyone is saying no, no, no. But of course, because I'm going to the studio regularly, I'm getting to see the same women over and over again. And so when it didn't work, inviting them out for Bible studies and Bible talks, I instead invited them for like a life talk, just to grab a coffee or a tea. And people really like going for coffee and tea. And so slowly over time, I built relationships with these women. And ultimately, 3 of them ended up coming to our Women's Day. And one of them even studied the Bible. God wasn't lying when he said the harvest is plentiful. And I want to make it really simple for us so we can really believe what the scriptures are saying is true, and that we can really believe that God can use any one of us to make game-changing disciples. So how to make game-changing disciples, 3 easy steps. Acts 11, verses 19 to 21. Now those who had been scattered by the persecution that broke out when Stephen was killed traveled as far as Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch, spreading the word only among Jews. Some of them, however, men from Cyprus and Cyrene, went to Antioch and began to speak to Greeks also, telling them the good news about the Lord Jesus. The Lord's hand was with them, and a great number of people believed and turned to the Lord. So step 1, follow the word. Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations, not some nations. Game-changing disciples come from all nations. So when we obey Jesus, we get Jesus-like results. We plant and water, God makes it grow. Acts 11, verse 22, news of this reached the church in Jerusalem, and they sent Barnabas to Antioch. So step 2, call for backup. It takes a village to save a soul. So gather like-minded disciples to help make game-changing disciples. Find out the game changer's skill set, their specialty, their sensibility, and gather sisters who can connect and really build deep relationships. Acts 11:23, when he arrived and saw what the grace of God had done, he was glad and encouraged them all to remain true to the Lord with all their hearts. So step 3, first, we must remain true to the Lord with all of our heart. And this is Seeking God 101, right? This is a simple and basic thing we teach everyone right at the beginning. And if you've ever seen the documentary, it's Hiro Dreams of Sushi. He talked about, it's so good. I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, but it's such a good movie. And he talked about if you want to become an expert in your field, because he was known as like the premier sushi chef, but if you want to be an expert in your field, you have to be an expert at the basics, because the basics are boring and it's what we want to skip, but the basic is where expertise happens. And we often want to rush through this. So I want to encourage us to seek him with all our hearts, and then we can encourage others to seek him with all their heart. So ultimately, it's the grace of God that produces game changer, which is why every one of us are capable of making a game-changing disciple. So just to bring it full circle, and I want to give a big thank you to Chantel Anderson, who makes many, many, many game-changing disciples. And she gave me some great advice. But I want us to pray and decide what type of person, what type of game changer are you trying to make into a disciple, and then enroll in that class. Take the hot yoga class, take the gym class, the actor class, the singing class. You don't have to be an expert in it. Just get into the class, and you'll meet experts that are experts in this field, and those people can become disciples. I want to challenge us sisters to make a game-changing disciple before the end of the year. I love you so much, and to God be the glory.